Hello and welcome to the last episode of the year 2022 of the Bleeding Metal podcast. My name is Pia, she, her, and of course I will end this year's ending episode, whatever, with, as always, with
Kiki. Hi. I'm also a she, her, and I'm super happy to be wrapping up another year of the Bleeding Metal podcast.
Yes, it's the second year. That's the first total year that we exist under this name and with this new concept. 12 episodes when we count this one, plus one bonus episode about the festival that you visited with Steffi. And yes, that's it. Now we will talk about music and music only, more or less. But let's start with another topic. How does your ice skating work?
Oh, it's going well. I'm super hyped. I'm still super hyped. I'm going every Saturday. And it's really good, actually, for my mental health as well, to know that I have something fun to do in the winter and not think too much about the cold and gray. And I had a pretty bad fall a few weeks ago, but nothing too bad. And my knee recovered pretty quickly, luckily. Okay. But yes, it's a lot of fun.
Do you have your own shoes for ice skating, or do you rent them?
Yeah.
Cool.
You have to have them. Yes.
Sometimes you can rent them at the venue, but that's quite expensive when you go very often. So
true, exactly. That is for the like public ice skating at public rinks and such. But what I'm doing is literally training at a club. So yeah, that's like a different thing. We had a special kind of training this past Saturday, and we had a guest teacher kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And she was really incredible. And that was the first time I had the feeling that I'm really learning figure skating, because this guest teacher was like putting a lot of attention on how elegant we look and, stuff like that. It was hilarious. And it was really nice.
Cool. So that's nice that you have something in a kind of new hobby. So for darker
totally
days.
New hobby. Yes. I'm hyped about that still. Yeah. And before we go over to recapping our year in music, I was thinking we would also recap the podcast a little bit. You just summarized it pretty quickly in our 12 episodes, but I'm just looking at the episodes we released, and we started the year with one of the most listened and also my personal favorite, the one about doing gender in heavy metal, where we talked to Dr. Anna Rogers. And that was really just a great talk. And we would love to have her again on the podcast at some point.
Yes. That would be awesome. I think we also agreed on talking about witchcraft with Odd Nina, who was our guest in the February episode. Yeah. And I think that Anna also defines herself as a witch. So that would be cool to have both of them here for that talk.
Right. Yes. That would be an amazing episode. Hell yeah. And we also talked about identity with Tobias Duncan from Trash Boat. That was the most listened episode. That one came out at the end of August. And other one of my favorites, though, is the one from October with Marnie from We Awake.
Mm-hmm.
So we did have metal musicians this year as well.
Yes.
Yes. We haven't left them out completely. And the most important part, though, is that we actually had really cool, important conversations with the artists, and not just talking about, again, how did you write these lyrics? Which is it's still important to promote the work of our favorite artists, and for all emerging artists especially. But they are also, most of them, intelligent, deep people with whom you can have awesome conversations, like the ones we've been having with Marnie.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about reproductive choices, and her story was also so important and so shocking as well, kind of. So I'm really glad that we got to do that this past year.
Yes. One of my favorite episodes is also the one we had with Jenny about separating the art from the artist. And Jenny is a vocalist who is looking for a new band right now. She is very good at doing the harsh vocals, so screaming, shouting, stuff like that. And she shared the stage with Caliban recently.
What? That's amazing.
Yes, Caliban did something really cool. They asked their fans to apply for sharing the stage with them. And so in every town they played a concert, a fan had the possibility to say, yes, I want to sing a song with you, and apply for that. And yeah, she made it, and she did a really, really cool job. I saw that on Instagram, and it was awesome.
That's incredible.
I hope she'll have a new band somewhere soon. So that's the best promotion for that, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Another favorite episode of mine was the episode about gaming, because we had Nina as a guest, and I follow her since 15 years or something on this or that social media platform, and it was so cool to finally meet her in quote unquote person and to talk about this stuff, because she's a streamer. She has a lot of followers on Twitch, where she is streaming right now. Before that, she was on Hitbox, and I don't know. She's on the internet since forever, and that's how I have it in my mind. And she's also a metal fan, and that was cool to look at these two worlds and to look for similarities together with her, who is an expert in gaming and also a fan of our music, the music that we like.
Yes, definitely. And also we talked about tea. That was very important.
Yes. And I, of course, enjoyed your report about the High Five Summerfest in Stockholm.
That was a lot of fun as well. That was a lot of fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the year is over. Well, there's still a little bit of time. We are right now recording on December 6th.
That is St. Nicholas Day in Germany. We celebrate this by putting out our shoes and wait for someone to put in some sweets.
Right.
As a child, I had to clean my shoes the day before, the evening before, and then, put them out. And the next day there were...
Because you don't want Santa Claus to leave you something in dirty shoes?
I don't know. That's tradition here. You have to do something to get something. That's the message.
Yeah, you
maybe.
have to make the effort to get the reward.
Are you worth it?
Wow. Oh my god. I hate
That's
Christmas.
how you train your kids.
Anyway. Yeah, that's parenting 101. Make your kids clean their shoes and reward them with candy on December 6th, and blame it on the Nicholas, because it's Christmas, whatever. I am the biggest Grinch, and that is also because I'll go on that point next. But today, December 6th, it's actually in Ecuador. It's the foundation of the capital city, Quito, where I come from. So that's a lot of partying that got done this past weekend. And last year I was there, and it was amazing. It was really cool to be able to be there after so long. It was my first Fiestas de Quito, as they're called, in 15 years. So I really enjoyed that a lot. And this year that I'm not there anymore, they brought back to life an incredible open air festival that they had there that was born when I was 15. The festival was born as a means to give the people an alternative to going to the bullfighting.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe it or not, that still happens sometimes. I think it's still happening. Anyway, they made this open air free festival, and at some point they stopped doing it, and this year they brought it back to life. The lineup was amazing. Friends of mine were playing there, and favorite bands of mine were playing there as well. So I'm actually pretty sad I missed it, but all of that was happening in Ecuador because of the foundation of the capital city, which is celebrated on December 6th. Also celebrated on December 6th, the independence of Finland.
Congratulations. Talking about Finland, 3 ex-members of Children of Bodom opened the Bodom Bar and Sauna in their hometown Espoo, where you can, well, it's kind of a Children of Bodom museum. They have a lot of stuff from their career there, and you can order food, you can go to the sauna, you can have beer. It's heaven on earth. I want to go there. Who comes with me?
Count me in. I can come with you to check that out for sure.
Nice.
Sounds amazing. Hell yeah.
You're a Grinch, but what's your favorite Christmas song?
None of them? Are you crazy?
You don't like Driving Home for Christmas?
What? Hell no. Stop it. Stop telling me the names. Just by the names, they're going to get stuck in my head, and I'm not going to be able to shake that off for days. I hate it. And I hate Christmas because, first of all, I'm not a Christian. And second of all, my birthday is December 26th. That was actually something that happened just a month ago, maybe. I'm in therapy again. And we were analyzing how having my birthday on Christmas actually traumatized me a little bit.
Okay.
And I mean, it's nothing too bad, but it's like everybody gets to feel important one day of the year, anytime else. But yeah, I'm here. It's like it's a weird thing to have to deal with when you're 34, but but it was just really interesting for me to actually realize that is a thing, and to process that, and to think, okay, it's not that bad, and try to maybe be less of a Grinch, but just to know that's a part of myself. It was funny, but yeah, all of that is coming up.
I can understand that because you get a lot of presents for Christmas and on your birthday, and as you said, everybody has other things to do on Christmas. And I'm pretty sure that you did not get 2 big presents. They might have mixed it because, this is for Christmas and your birthday. And so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, what you were saying is I think the most important part. Like, everybody had other plans for those dates. And like, my special day was always like just a back thought.
Yeah.
And like I never had like I was never at school during my birthday. You know how that is a thing when you're growing up. But and stuff like that. But yeah, happens. Shit happens, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Music. You said before that there were not so many albums that you enjoyed this year, or that you say these are my albums of the year or whatever.
There hasn't been a lot coming out this year that actually interests me a lot, especially not in the first part of the year. What about you? What do you recall?
I have some highlights also in the first month of the year. The Sleeper released their album Radiant. That's an album that I listened to over the whole year. That's also YouTube Recap said it's the album that I listened to the most. But I did not listen to that much music this year obviously because I have a baby and I didn't have that much time for listening to music. And I also listen to a lot of podcasts. So it's always like, oh, do I put on music or do I listen to a podcast when I have the time to do that? But the Halo Effect released their debut album Days of the Lost, and the Halo Effect is a band with band members who have all of them have been part of In Flames one or the other day, and they came together to form this band. And yeah, the sound is just awesome. So that also made me listen to melodic death metal again a bit more.
Nice.
And there is another band that I used to listen to a lot when I was younger that is called Stradivarius, and they released their album Survive in September, I think. That made me listen to them more because I lost my focus. I did not listen to their music at all for quite a long while. And then this album was released and I thought, okay, let's give it a listen. And I really enjoyed it. And my highlight was that We Came as Romans released their album Dark Bloom now in October, just a few weeks ago. That's the first album after their vocalist Kyle Pavone passed away, and they worked on their grief, and that's the output of that. And I read a very interesting interview with the guitar player, with Josh, and he said that they also put a lot of thought in the track list, which song is the first one, which one is the second one, so that they have these steps of how they also worked on themselves, on their mental health and therapy, because all of the band members, they had therapy and to learn how to live with their grief and how to find something again in their life which they can look forward to. And our Mirage have released an album quite recently, I think beginning of December or end of November. That's called Eclipse. And that's the one that I listen to right now a lot.
Nice. And do you like it?
Yes. It took me a while to get into it. So when I listened to it for the first time, I was like, okay, let's give it another try. And then I thought, wow, I want to listen to it again and again and again.
Nice.
So there are some albums that made the year special for me.
Yeah, indeed. And that is enough already. But also, Pia, I am shocked. I am shocked that you're not mentioning Electric Callboy's output of this year.
Yes, I know. If we would do a ranking here, then I would put this album in my top 3 for sure. But most of the really cool songs have been released before. So We Got the Moves came out in 2021. Pump It was also released the year before. And also the other cool songs have been released over the year. When the album was released, it was like, oh, there is the album. Okay, let's give it a listen. Yeah, there are the hits, and the other songs are okay-ish, but not something that I would say that's really good. I didn't pay a lot of attention to the release of the album because, as I said, all the cool songs have been released already. And that's something that happens a lot, or that a lot of bands do, that they release many, many songs before the album comes out. I can understand that because they need the attention on streaming platforms and stuff like that. And nowadays there are, again, a lot of music videos that are produced, which I really enjoy. That's the dark side of it.
Yes, and I also think that is changing. There are a lot of artists that talk about putting out just singles or loose songs instead of releasing albums as a whole anymore. You know, with streaming, the music industry has changed completely, and sometimes people say, well, what is actually the value in still waiting for so long until a big album comes out? And others have said, well, there is still a lot of value in it. There's an artwork, there's a concept, there's a lot of other stuff, right? But if from a, let's say, 12-track album, you've released 8 singles, and I mean, sure, if those 4 tracks are gonna surprise the hell out of me and are gonna be great, I will appreciate that. But if the best songs of the album are the singles that have already been out, it's gonna be difficult to appreciate the whole when it finally comes out. That was something that I had with Spirit Box last year. A lot of the songs on their album were already out, and I really, really like them. But when the album actually came out, there were like these secret gems, so to speak, that were really, really good. And I love that album as a whole. And that takes me to my releases of 2023. Spirit Box put out an EP with I think 3 or 4 songs that were completely different from those on the album. And that was like 6 months after the album released. Okay, maybe 8. So that was a pretty fast succession of events, which makes sense because, you know, the music that was released on the album in autumn of 2023, I think it was September, had already been out for ages. So yes, there was new material, but there was also new material on the works that was not on that album yet. So it made sense that they put something out later, and again surprised us with something new that is amazing and that we can enjoy. So I like that a lot. Rotoscope is the name of the Spirit Box EP. Another one of my favorite bands that released an EP is Epica with the Alchemy Project. That was a completely different thing too that I also appreciate a lot because it's a collection of collaborations. Each of the, I think, 7 songs is a collaboration with a metal artist from a different band. The last single they released is a pretty cool song with Charlotte Wessels and with Mirkur, and that is a really cool song with a music video as well. And I don't remember the name of the song, but I will link it in the show notes. And I have a strong image of the video though. And that also made sense because they, after the pandemic, they picked up touring again really quickly. And so they've been touring nonstop, and it's not a lot of time to write the next album already. And also their last album just got released by the end of last year. So I'm guessing all of these different forms of outputs are, just evolving like we evolve, like everything evolves. And I'm just happy that musicians are able, or that my favorite musicians are able to keep releasing stuff no matter how, in what rhythm, which makes me think, Pia, I've been too judgmental. Maybe EPs are okay. I have changed my mind now. Or rather, the music industry has changed so much that now EPs are okay. In the past, no.
Now they're a thing. Yes, maybe that's it. But what you said before about the Spirit Box album, I had this past year with the NSOK album with Aurora, that the album came out and half of the songs have been released already. But the other songs were so cool that I had this the special songs that I wanted to listen to all over again. And I skipped the songs that have been released already and listened to the new stuff. And I was like, that is something new that I can enjoy. Yeah. It was the same with the We Came as Romans album, because there have been songs where I thought, wow, this is something innovative. That's something I have never heard before. Maybe it's out there on some albums of bands that I don't know, but for me, it was new in my cosmos. And that's something that makes me remember that, wow, the album came out and there was this special song that's stuck in my head now.
Yes, and that's actually what makes us look forward to album releases, to the things that we don't know yet, some surprise that we haven't expected. Mm-hmm. That's what makes the anticipation be so real, and what makes people pre-order in advance and pre-save in advance, and like the moment it hits, you start to listen to it. And that is something that I, for example, didn't really have this year, but that happened with bands that I didn't know were going to release something. And when they did and I listened to, it was great. For example, Darker Still from Parkway Drive is a really good album that came out this year. And Machine Head of Kingdom and Crown. Both of those I had already mentioned in the previous episodes of the podcast. Really cool albums. And another one that I also, I think, mentioned last episode is Dark Sun from the band Dayseeker. It's a very emo, very dark, sad synthy album that is just really awesome. And that I really have been listening to a lot lately. That also came out in the last month, maybe. So, yeah, give it a listen if you don't know it yet. It's a recommendation for sure.
Kiki, if we would start an end of the year Spotify playlist, which songs would you put on that one?
End of the year, as in
to sum up the year.
To sum up the year, well,
as everything unfolds with Felt Like Home, for example.
Felt Like Home is, yes, that might be my favorite song of the year. I've been listening to that a lot as well. Future Palace, I started listening to since High Five Summerfest. Their song Paradise, I think, was released this year.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It is from Run, from this year's album by Future Palace. That one is a really good one. I will give you my Dayseeker ones. I have to check my saddest playlist because they're there. But they are really good songs. Without Me is a really good one as well that came out this year. Save Us by Evergrey, also from this year's A Heartless Portrait. What would be yours?
Gojira released a very, very good song, Our Time Is Now, I think by the end of September. They also had a really cool campaign on Instagram where you could post a photo of you with the special sign on your hand or wherever, on your cheek or I don't know, and tell the world what you stand for, so what is important for you. And then the band shared all of these pics. That was very, very cool. My favorite song from the Halo Effect is A Truth Worth Lying For. I streamed that song also a lot.
Nice.
When I wanted to party, I put on Spaceman by Electric Callboy. And the song that blew my mind from the We Came as Romans album is Double Speak, because it starts with weird electronics and they continue throughout the whole song. So that is so special. That's something that really surprised me. There's another song that I would recommend listening to. That's by Our Mirage and it's called Calling You. And I like that song also because of the lyrics. That's the story about a person who I think lost someone and now doesn't know what to do with themselves. And the way out of the situation is that he or she calls someone to be able to talk about this or to talk about something. So to reach out for help. And Or Mirage have a male presenting singer. So that's also kind of a message for men that if you have, or if you struggle with your mental health, or if you feel sad for whatever, then reach out for help. And if you know someone who might help you or whose voice on the phone you would find comfortable, then
comforting.
Comforting, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that. People are willing to help always. That's my experience. And special mention, Season of Ghosts released a song that was called In Hybris. It took me a while to like the song because I think the vocals are slightly too much in the focus of this production. And that, for my ears, sounds a bit, I don't know. I had to give it a few listens to actually like the song. But the message is a bit depressing because the song asks the question, are we doomed as a species, or do we make the same mistakes all over again as humans by now destroying the planet and everything? So a very dark song. It's a feature song, a collaboration with Fatal Fee, who is also an electronic artist, and very heavy also with growls this time again. And yeah, very special song also for me.
Wow.
And one song that cannot miss on this playlist is Forspoken Part 1 by In Flames.
Yes!
Because they are back. In Flames are back. They have been gone for a while with albums that are meh. And all the new stuff
That's
is so
what
cool.
you mean by gone, I see.
And now they will release a new album in 2023, I think in February, and I'm so looking forward to that one. Yes, so this song definitely has to be on the playlist.
I just listened to it for the first time this week, actually. As you know, I'm also a very avid podcast listener, but I don't get to listening to as many podcasts as before since I have been working from home so much, you know. Like before the pandemic, I used to listen to more podcasts than now. And I'm still keeping, like, trying to catch up. And so the episodes that I listen to now came out 2 months ago, kind of, in average. And so 2 months ago, the Metal Sucks podcast interviewed the singer from In Flames, and they talked about that album that's coming out in February, and they played exactly that song in the end, and I also really like it. It's a really good mixture of the newer In Flames with the more classic In Flames, I think, and I'm really looking forward to that album as well. That is in my looking forward to of 2023, which is a good segue to go to that category.
But to be honest, that's the only one that I could name right now. I think that As Everything Unfolds will release something new because they just released 2 singles, and hopefully there will be something out. And Season of Ghosts also released 2 singles until now, and maybe their new album will be out next year, hopefully.
Yeah. Talking about As Everything Unfolds, I Felt Like Home more than Blossom, but Blossom is also a cool song. I love the color purple is my favorite color, and so I'm loving the new look they are wearing, kind of, or the new look they have adopted in anticipation for the new album. Well, yeah, I'm also assuming there's going to be a new album next year. I really hope so. What I did just read the last week, I think, on Instagram is that they had to cancel several shows of their tour because Charlie is sick. So we really hope that Charlie gets back on her feet and that she gets well and recovers completely very, very soon.
She is already back on stage. They posted it today that she will play the last shows of the UK dates.
Oh, I missed that, but that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is incredible. That's a relief. I was pretty worried there. Also because they were playing Cologne, which would be pretty near here, and I didn't know. And I found out that they had that gig with the post that they couldn't play that gig. And I thought, okay, maybe better that I missed it. Yeah. It would have been worse if I had actually gone there and they canceled pretty last minute. So,
I had that with Gojira at a festival where I just went to see them and then they had to cancel the gig the night before.
Oh, no. But yeah, I haven't seen As Everything Unfolds live yet, and that's something I wish to correct as soon as possible.
Same here.
And another album that I know is coming out next year, because also I have no idea what else is coming out next year. I guess it's going to be a year full of surprises musically, and otherwise probably as well. Xandria are back. They are also back, and they were really gone. They were really gone since 2016, I want to say, since the whole thing about their latest singer leaving the band. And now they are back with a completely new lineup. Marco Heubaum is the only one, and the only one remaining from the original lineup and the founding member. So he's got the band back, or he's got a band back, and under the same name, kind of the same musical style. It's still very cool symphonic metal with operatic vocals. I think a good part of the band members come from Greece. And the vocalist is also really great. So, yes, I am looking forward to what they will bring out next. And the few singles that are out already are also pretty interesting.
Do you have a band that you discovered this year that you can recommend?
New discoveries. So many, I think. As I was saying, Future Palace was one that I discovered at High Five Summerfest. Why is that name so difficult? I really don't know. But Future Palace and Cyan Kicks, both from that festival that I really like. And Skinned. I think I've mentioned that band project. I think it's a one-person project, but I'm not completely sure. So Skinned, the one with the murderer stories, with the true crime kind of songs. That one is also really great music. Focus on the music, and those are the ones that I would recommend most. What about you?
My discovery of the year is Aries. That's a band from, I think, Cologne here in Germany. And they released their debut album Arcanum in September. They had 3 singles out already last year, I think. They also toured together with Ginger. So that's also kind of the genre that they are playing. And this year they released the song Crystals, and that was the ear opener for me for their music.
Nice.
And I also like their debut album Arcanum a lot.
Sounds good. So many things that our listeners can also check out if they don't know them yet. And also we would like to know from you all out there. What is a new artist, a new band that you discovered in 2022? And what is your favorite song or album of this year? That would be really interesting to know. And before we change the subject, maybe I want to do another honorable mention. This is not metal, and I probably have told this story before. But my partner released an album this year in February. It's called Nail in the Coffin by Xavier Nelson. I'm going to link it in the show notes as well. And it's really beautiful. It's more EDM kind of stuff, but there are also very emotional songs like Home, for example. I really love that song. So yes, check that out, everybody. It's something like, for a chill road trip. That is the best soundtrack.
What have been your games of the year?
Oof, my games of the year. Stray, for sure. That is...
Yeah.
I voted for that one on some sort of game awards just recently because it was just the best game this year, hands down.
I can agree.
It's not the one I've played the most because I only gave it one playthrough. But
same.
For release this year, that one is the best. Yeah.
At the moment, I play Pokemon, the new editions, and I enjoy it, but it's also kind of overwhelming because you have so many things that you can do, and you do them all parallel. The editions before, you had a kind of storyline that you could follow, and now you can do all of that on your own. But they have a lot of trouble with their techniques in the background. So the graphic is weird. Okay. There are a lot of bugs.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope they will fix that.
Yes.
Next year, the new Zelda will be released. The successor of the huge open world Zelda that everyone enjoyed so much. So I think that's the game I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh, that's so cool. That is really cool. Okay, I forgot another game that came out this year and that I've been playing a lot is Blood Hunt. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. It's this third-person shooter battle royale with vampires that have abilities. It's amazing. I love it. I've been playing it a lot, and I'm actually getting better.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you if you tried the game Metal Hellsinger.
No, I didn't.
Me neither. I wanted to because you need rhythm and it's a shooter, and you have a really cool soundtrack with famous singers who participated. But at the moment, the most time when I can sit in front of my PlayStation, then I have my child sleeping on my lap, so it's not possible for me to play something that might get me in a
moving mood.
Yeah, in a moving mood.
In a
Yeah.
mood.
So that's what I'm looking forward to when I can do that again.
Oh yeah, I get it. I was pretty hyped about the game. I watched the show they put on at Gamescom at the convention here with Alyssa from Arch Enemy and Matthew from Matt from Trivium. They had like a whole band with all the famous singers they had invited perform a few songs during the convention. That was really cool. I watched that all. And then I watched the gameplay. And yeah. I like shooters. I have no trouble with monsters, but I don't know how I can explain it. It's just something very subjective. The monsters are ugly. I don't think I could stare at that and like go through that. Maybe it's too gory, too ugly, monstery. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like it. For example, I play Destiny a lot, and I go around shooting aliens, and those are kind of cutesy aliens. Well, they're not cute, but they're not as, I don't know. They just don't put me off that much. So I watched some gameplay from Hellsinger, and that's why I haven't tried it yet. Maybe I will at some point.
Yeah, I think that's it for now, for the year. Or do you have something else?
I think that is it. It was a weird year. It started with me in Ecuador. Very early in the year, also, there was this big war that is still going on. For me personally, there was a lot of travel in the summer, which was nice. And now, I don't know. I'm excited about the new year. I'm excited about new hobbies, new stuff, life in general, new job probably, hopefully. Send good vibes. Also, send me your job postings if somebody is hiring. It's been an interesting year. It's also been gone pretty quickly.
So, yes, it started very slowly for me, but then it went pretty fast. That's true. Yes, I enjoy the holiday season, the Christmas time. I enjoy going to the Christmas market. We have a very tiny one here in my town. But it kind of gives me the right mood. I can't remember when I had these feelings about Christmas the last time, maybe when I was a little child. So I'm your opposite. I'm really looking forward to the next couple of weeks and days. And I hope that some of you out there also enjoy these days. And if you don't, that's of course okay. And we are here for you. And I hope you have been able to enjoy this episode where we did not talk about Christmas that much. So, thank you all for being part of our story, for being part of the podcast, also by listening and by giving us feedback. That means a lot to us. And we come back next year with at least 12 episodes again.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for doing this project together with me, Kiki. It means a lot to me.
Yes, thank you for another year of podcasting together and your friendship, of course, which means a lot to me. And yes, we will come back. So stay tuned. click that or tap that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening to. Don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you want to take some time and give us a 5-star review or something like that, that would be great. Also, I still haven't posted the Spotify Wrapped from the podcast. I will do that this week. But one of the statistics was also that our podcast gets shared the most through Instagram and WhatsApp. That was the one that surprised me as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep sending those links, keep sharing, keep telling your friends that we are cool to hang out with.
Also on Christmas when you don't like it.
And don't forget to answer those questions that are on Spotify. And yeah, see you next year. Have a good one. Have good holidays and a good end of the year. Yes. And thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.